Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Keep It Wausome friends, my Wausome pals? Hey, coming at you with a video a little bit different. I just wanted to do a live video today to talk about some of the top videos of 2020. And to start off with, I want to thank everyone who's signed up for the channel, who's subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button so more people can see this. But I'm going to put a little chat here. Your favorite video from the Keep It Wausome podcast in 2020. So as we're going through this, if you think of your favorite video from the Keep It Wausome podcast in 2020, go ahead and leave it in the comments. So without further ado, I think this is interesting because I found that I cannot at all, and I mean seriously, not at all, predict what videos are going to be popular and what isn't. A lot of it depends on the guest. If the guest shares it a lot, it seems to grow more than me sharing it. I guess I'm not very influential, but I think it's pretty cool, and they kind of surprised me. So I'm actually going to start with number 6, even though I kind of intended this to be a top 5. And reason being is the top one is weird, and so we'll get to that in a minute. But because of that, I want to start with number 6. So number 6 was my interview, was episode 31, and it was my interview with Kimmy Harris. My kitty's down below here, by the way. Hey, kitty, want to come on the podcast? Here's the kitty. Hey, kitty. Hey, Belle. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Yeah, he's a good kitty. Yeah, so anyway, so episode 31 was actress Kimmy Harris. And Kimmy is someone I have acted with. She was doing the actress thing in California for a long time and just recently moved back to Wausau during the pandemic. And it sounds kind of like she's going to stay. It was a really interesting chat. It was interesting to talk to someone who really tried to do the move to California and become an actress/actor thing. It's pretty cool. She's a really good actress, and what you find out there. This is something that a friend of mine who was a film and TV composer also found. Like, it's a lot of it is, it's not always your talent. It's who you know and how you network and how you are to work with. You have to be good to work with. That's a big factor for success in Hollywood. And some of it's luck, some of it's having the right look, various things. But that was Kimmy Harris, and I really enjoyed talking with her. Kind of a weird start because she talked about she said something about how many Hicks are in Wisconsin, and it's like, well, yeah, there's Hicks everywhere, and I don't think Kitty, get over there, man. It was kind of a weird way to start the podcast. I was like, okay. Ended up being a great conversation, good talk. So that was number 6. And just to be transparent, that got 234 views, which at the time was quite a bit. It was quite a bit for the podcast. She quickly became, 198. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, 198, which is pretty good. It wasn't a record, but it did launch her into the top 5, and now she's in the top 6. So my next one is actually I believe it was the first episode of 2020. I'd have to go back and look. I didn't keep track of that information, but that was with the Siren Shrub gals, Mindy and Lane, and that was one of my most fun episodes. We just had such a blast. We got silly, an appropriate amount of silly. It's always good when you can get an appropriate amount of silly. And they were just so much fun. So these gals, the Siren Shrub gals, basically started a company around shrubs. So my first thought when I heard that is I thought that they were literally talking about like plants. But nothing could be further from the truth. Actually, a shrub is a type of sipping vinegar that was very popular 200 some years ago, and now it's coming back. They make these, and now they have a sparkling variety. Kitty, please don't scratch on that. And now they make a sparkling variety that you can buy. But one of the things they're really great for use in cocktails, but they're also really good if you want to make a mocktail. And actually, that's sort of what they've been pushing, is the idea of things don't have to be necessarily alcoholic. Maybe a tough sell in Wisconsin, but not necessarily. There's a lot of people who are trying to achieve sobriety, or are maintaining sobriety. Some people just don't like to drink. I'm not that big of a fan of it, to be honest. I have a beer socially usually. I even had some brandy spiked eggnog last night, and it tasted good, but I didn't sleep well. I had to wake up in the middle of the night. I didn't feel good. I woke up with kind of a headache. So, it's just not worth it a lot of times. So, stuff like this, it's great. You can, I used to love kitty cocktails when I was a kid. I could kind of feel like a grown up when I was a kid, but not, still, obviously you're not having an alcoholic drink, but you're having something that kind of resembles it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that was a super cool episode. We had a lot of fun. It was my most successful episode for a long time. I didn't top. They jumped up really quickly to about 200 views. Currently sitting at 234. It's like third shortest in watch time, watch duration. So that's kind of a bummer. I think people would enjoy it, but I didn't have the sound down as well. I was kind of using a different technique. We've learned a lot since then. Now the next one, number 4. Number 4 is a really cool one. And this is the latest one with Marty Shaka, who is the founder of White House Production Studio. It's a music studio. He produces people from all over the country. He's a very modest, humble guy, very talented at what he does. Super nice guy, man. Marty's just great. He even wants me to come jam with him, which is pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to that once the pandemic is over. But he and his wife Shelby have such a cool story. He moved to Atlanta and he wanted to pursue a music career. And at one point, he and his wife Shelby had a record contract with a big major label. They were under the producer Timbaland, and it didn't work out. Even though Timbaland loved the album that he created with Shelby, it didn't work out because essentially too many cooks spoiled the stew, so to speak. So I would totally recommend checking out that episode if you want to learn the whole story. We talked about all kinds of things with music. Great episode. And that one really jumped up fast. It's already at 302 views. And people of all the ones in the top 6, that one was watched the longest. Right now it's sitting at 1253 for watch time, which is pretty cool. I don't know. This might be a mistake, giving out all my data on my watch times and stuff like that. But people really watch it, and they watch the beginning. And the numbers keep growing. All those people that watch, they at least generally see the advertising in the beginning, which is pretty cool because that's good for my sponsors. I only use local sponsors. Shout out to Scotty's and to Campbell Haynes Menswear. I should have mentioned those in the beginning, really. Thanks to them. They're great local businesses if you're in the Wausome area. If you want something to eat, Scotty's is a great place to go. They're a great place once they're open for beer too. Huge beer selection, and they always pack some of my favorites. And Campbell Haynes Menswear, those guys are, man, you got a scratch on that? Cats, man. He's sitting up there. Hey, kitty. Mr. Higgins made a couple appearances on the podcast today. That's pretty neat. Campbell Haynes Menswear, I love these guys. I've got some clothes from them, and they're really nice, and they're actually less expensive than the big box stores. So believe it or not, I mean, you might think the big warehouse stores are less expensive. A lot of people think that, but it's not true. So sorry, the cat keeps scratching on my chair, and it really drives me nuts. Can you not scratch on that? Thank you. Kitties. Anyway, so yeah, episode 41 was a great one. The next one was a little bit of a surprise. This was episode 36, so not too long ago. Actually, most of my biggest episodes have come this fall. Dude, come on, man. You gotta get into everything. Otherwise, you hide all day. Oh, man. Never gonna get to this live podcast because the cat keeps distracting me. But yeah, so my next episode was with Trevor Roark, and this was 36. We did this in October 1st. Actually, two of my biggest podcasts were in October. One was in November, and one was just recently in December. That's pretty cool, man. It's it's neat. I think it's really cool that the podcast is growing, and he ended up getting 405 views. So Trevor, my friend Trevor Roark, he used to run the adventure tours through UWSP, and that was really cool because he would take people on these bicycle adventures, and I'm a big fan of bicycles, as many of you who know me probably know. I ride bicycles for transportation primarily, and then also mountain biking and the occasional just kind of meandering long ride for no reason. But more often than not, I'm usually riding my bicycle to get somewhere, which is something I advocate. And so Trevor started a business now because apparently his position was eliminated. We found out on the podcast. Sorry, dude. We found that out. And yeah, I felt bad. I felt really bad. Like, it came up on the podcast because I didn't know his position had been eliminated. But he started this cool business called Curbwise, where he makes deliveries via bicycle. So I think that's pretty neat. Good for him. And it's actually the lowest of the watch duration, but it's got the most views. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. I know he's got a lot of friends in Point that probably watched it. It's 30 minutes to the south for anyone who's watching outside of the region. And by the way, as you're watching this, whether it's live or afterwards, feel free to comment about your favorite episode. Maybe it's different than the top 5, or maybe not. I don't know. So the second biggest one, and the first, in my opinion, this is number 1. I'll explain later. You'll see when I get to the actual number 1 that why I don't think it's the actual number 1, but we'll get to that. But this one to me is the number 1. This is episode 38. So this was October 29th. Like I said, 2 of the top 5 are in October, which is pretty impressive. Hey, buddy. Well, you just gotta be around me, don't you? That's fine. As long as he's not bothering anything. I'll pet him a little bit. Kitty. So this was my episode with Eric Thomas, who owns like a series of gyms. I keep forgetting all the businesses, but he's got a metal sculpting company. He owns a supplement line, which is pretty cool. And on top of all that, he also owns 180 Cuts, which is like a marketplace for healthy foods, stuff like the kind of stuff that falls into that clean eating kind of category, which I know is kind of nebulous. It's not. It's. We'll get into that, but I won't get into that right now. But essentially, stuff along those lines. Dude, come on, man, you are killing me. Watch a man struggle with his cat while he tries to do a live YouTube video. Dude, please stop playing with stuff. Just go in the other room, man. Killing me. Cats. And so the guy's just like a super entrepreneur right here in Wausome, and I learned a ton from him. Like, one of the best things I think he said is like the concept of polishing the stone. In other words, just keep doing a little bit every day, even if it's only a little bit, and as long as you do a little something, you will grow and grow and grow. But you got to keep active. You can't stop. You just got to keep going. And it's true, man. All my stuff, I've had a lot of things kind of the podcast is one of them where it kind of took off, and it was slow for a while. There's times when I thought, maybe I'll just quit this. Like, is anybody really watching? I was getting pretty low numbers. People weren't subscribing. I was like, God, why am I doing this? And then, subscribers all went away too after, I shouldn't say they went away. That's not fair. I let them all, I told them all, like, I wasn't going to charge them and just forget the sponsorship for now once the pandemic hit. Cause I'm like, I can't, like, I could have kept everyone to their contract, but that would have been a very cool thing to do and probably would have hurt me in the long run. And I didn't feel right about it. I'm not going to make people pay for advertising when they're shut down. That's just not right. So, so it all ended. I was working with producer Harold Mello, which, by the way, you guys should check out. Check out his YouTube channel. He's no Substyle's not a thing anymore, unfortunately, unless they changed. Maybe they changed their mind, and since I talked to him last, I don't know. But as far as I know, that's over. But he's been playing with Billy Brunstead. So, and if you need guitar lessons, he's your guy, man. No, Kitty, don't play with the plane. Come on, man. Ah, cats. This is like how many times this is getting almost comical. I'm sure people are watching this and laughing at me trying to make you. Dude, come on, dude. Stop scratching. I'll put him in the basement next time. All right. So anyway, yeah. But I kept at it, and now I have sponsors again. It's bringing in some money, and I'm not paying because I was essentially paying to run this podcast. It's like $16 a month through SoundCloud to host it. So that's great. Yeah, I learned so much about entrepreneurship from Eric, and he's got a lot of fans. Oh, and he's in a band too, by the way. He just recorded an album not too long ago. It's called The Will, as the name of the band. And so, yeah, it's super cool. They got really good watch time. People watched it for a long time, about 8 minutes on average, which means a lot more people watched it longer because there's always people that click on it for 2 seconds and leave. I mean, they can't help that. No matter what video, any video has that. It was a long time to talk. Usually I have guests. That's why I don't, so I don't have to talk the whole time. Usually I let them talk. But yeah, Eric's was a great podcast. One of my favorites. Really, all these ones in the top 5 were my favorites. Those are the great ones that, didn't get that popular, but the weird thing about the Siren Shrubs, I kind of forgot to mention, I was going to go back to is like, I was kind of surprised it appeared in the top 5 this year only because it felt like so much longer ago. I mean, you can see in the video, we were in person. The pandemic was sort of a thing happening in another country that didn't seem like it was, it seemed like it was going to be like the bird flu where it's a really isolated thing that didn't affect most people's lives. And obviously it turned into the opposite of that. So when I saw him, like, oh, that was this year, man, that felt like 2 years ago or something. Yeah, we're living in weird times, and that's why. Okay, so I know this is going long, and I just want to get to the very last video because I'm so surprised for a number of reasons. But I did a live episode with my friend Jared was this in November? Yeah, toward the end of November, Thanksgiving weekend. And I thought I had an easy way to bring someone in live on YouTube. And instead, it turned out that didn't work. And all the other ways that I found you have to pay for. Now I found a way, but it was too late for this one. And so I had my friend Jared on, and we wanted to talk Christmas movies. And what I did, this is so ridiculous, is I had him on my phone, and I had my little stand, and then I put the phone up to the screen like this. The sound was horrible. You couldn't hear him for the first 15 minutes until someone told me to turn it up. Thanks for that. I believe that was his lady friend who told me that. Dude, come on, man. Otherwise, you don't scratch on it. Ah, God. So, but we talked Christmas movies. It was kind of awkward. It was weird. I actually thought about taking it down after we went live. I was like, I don't know about this. And lo and behold, no one watched it while it was on. Like 1 or 2 people watched it while it was on. And funny enough, no one's watching this right now. But it blew up. It's at almost 800 views now. And people have watched on average about 3 minutes and 10 seconds, which is not the lowest of the top 5. It's the second lowest of the top 5 for watch time. But YouTube decided that was the one it wanted to share around. So I guess the lesson is make every video the best you can make it, because you never know what YouTube's going to decide to pass around. You can't really predict it. I didn't have any tags in it or anything. It just decided it like that. Sometimes it likes what you say, I think. I've heard it actually picks up, which blows me away, but apparently it can actually pick up the things you say in the video and use that as part of what it shares around. So I don't know. But that's the reason why I didn't I almost don't even count it as a real video of Keep It Wausome, just because it was so, like I said, I was gonna take it down. And then once it went viral, I kind of had to keep it up, I think, because it helps my numbers, I think. So it's like, all right, whatever. Yeah, YouTube's weird, but it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the top 5 for Keep It Wausome podcast. Not the greatest at speaking for like 20 minutes straight, but I did my best. It's tired me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, keep watching. I think the podcast is going to grow even more in 2021. It'll be great when I can get back to in-person podcasts, because that was a lot more fun. I think they're better. I think I can interview better. Like, it's really hard to. I've been learning a lot from Howard Stern, the idea of sort of strategic interruptions. Like, it's not really in my nature to interrupt people, but there definitely are times in an interview, especially one that's made for consumption, not just gathering info, where you need to be able to interrupt people. And it's more awkward on Zoom because there's that delay. So you look for those little spaces to insert yourself, but by the time it actually comes through, they're already started speaking again, and so it creates this weird delay. So, I don't really love doing interviews over Zoom, but I do kind of like the way the videos come out. I like the picture-in-picture kind of thing. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how I handle that once we're in person. But right now we're not. So I did the Eric one, and I don't know if I should have. We kept pretty far apart, but still, it probably would have been better not to do it in person. But whatever, can't be perfect. So. All right, I'm going to end this podcast. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. Like I said, like the video, leave me a comment. Anything, you can leave me a comment about anything, but I really would like to know what your favorite video or favorite podcast episode was. Sometimes the podcasts do better on audio than they do video too. So that's just because it's the top video doesn't mean it was the top one on audio. In fact, I should probably look that up. Maybe I'll do another post. Who knows? But yeah, share it around, leave a comment, and hit subscribe. That really helps. I would love to have more subscribers. It grew a lot in the last month, so that's cool. And I'd really like to hit 100. So if we could hit 100 before January, that'd be awesome. I kind of doubt we will, but hey, if we could, great. So, all right, I've talked enough. I'm doing the Midwest goodbye where it takes forever. Sorry, but thanks so much, and I will see you next time. Bing.